Hi there, everyone. I had a subscriber request, which sounds funny to say out loud, but I did have a subscriber who made a request. He wanted to know if I could take some measurements off a 4-speed Hurst Dual gate and a stock Hurst Dual gate to see if the 4-speed version would fit in the console of a 72 Cutlass that he owns. So I dug these guys out of my basement, and here I am filming on my trash barrel because my workbench is an absolute mess with Sunbird turbo parts. So anyway, this one here, as far as I know, is an OEM Hurst shifter from a 70 to 72 Cutlass 442. I would say it's a 71 or 72 because this bracket that mounts to the floor has the 2 holes for the neutral safety switch. But to my knowledge, only 1970 used that. 71 and 72 had the neutral safety switch on the bottom of the steering column. So I'm going to go with this is a 72. And I believe it's OEM because it's got the plateau here with the 2 screw holes and the rivets holding the plate on. If anyone knows better than me, let me know, but I'm going to say this is OEM, okay? This one in the middle is the brand new Dual Gate 2 I've been sitting on for years. It was the 80s Hurst Dual Gate shifter you bought when you wanted to put it in your 73 Buick Regal or a 66 Barracuda. You wanted a Hurst Dual Gate, you went to the speed shop and you bought this. My brother actually found this one hanging on the wall at Forte's Speed Shop in Waltham, Massachusetts, probably 10 or 15 years ago. And they were selling it cheap, so I grabbed it. This one is the 4-speed Dual Gate, which, according to the box, it is the Parts Place reproduction one, which is probably all you're going to find these days. So if you want a 4-speed Dual Gate, you're going to have to pay $529 on eBay and buy it from the Parts Place or go to them directly. So walking around it, you can see they're all very similar in features and proportions. The 4-speed one has this mount in the front, and it has this linkage over here, which if you watched my dual gate shifter conversion in my 69 442, I believe I took all this stuff out because it's meant for an 82 to 92 Camaro Firebird, and I want to say they have a second cable that goes here that locks something, steering column, something like that. I forget, but I cut this off mine to put it in my car, and I think I took this out. I can't remember. So anyway, trying to measure this one-handed. I can tell you that the OEM Dual Gate measures, let's call it 3 and then 1/8 across the top at the very front where the plateau is the widest. Let's go to the Dual Gate 2 and we'll see that that one measures 3 and 1/8 across the top, just like the original one. The 4-speed Dual Gate measures 3 and 1/8 across the top. So it appears to be about the same. However, it has a kick out here. Well, actually, they all do. So I take that back. Yeah, they're all about the same in that respect. It looks more massive, but it doesn't appear to be so. It does have this bracket welded to the front that these don't have. So again, this is out of a, we'll say 72 Cutlass. Eric, those are the brackets you'll need to mount a Dual Gate in your car. So you would have to buy this Parts Place 4-speed Dual Gate and buy these reproduction brackets that I believe they also conveniently make. If not, I know they're on eBay all the time for like 60 bucks or something like that. And you would have to bolt them onto your shifter. Now, at the back, where the bolt holes are, this one's drilled, this one's drilled, this one's drilled too. So the back bracket should bolt right on. Nice and easy. The front is a little more involved. This one has the holes. This one has the holes. This one does not. So what you got to do is cut this bracket off. And then you would have to drill this hole, which is going to fall somewhere around here, which is going to be a problem with this thing in the way. And then this side, where the hole would go, is missing. So you're going to have to cut that bracket off and just MIG weld in a little piece. That'll do that. I mean, to get past this where it kicks out, I'm not as familiar with the 70 to 72s as I probably should be, but I'm willing to bet you could buy the stock bracket and shim it out past this thing, because you kind of need this for the cable. If you look at this one, it's got a hole in the inside, and it has this outer part that has like a keyway shape in it. If you look at the 70 to 72, hang on now, getting hairy. You got the 70 to 72 right in the foreground. You got the dual gate 2 in the back. They have the exact same cable configuration. Now this one is definitely different. Let me pull the camera back. You know, can you see that? It's, you know, there's the body. So the cable is actually up about an inch, maybe a little over an inch, in relation to the OEM type Hurst. Maybe you see it better this way. I mean, that's what you're looking at. It's, this one drops down. This one does not. But I'm willing to bet once you get the cable in there with the clip on it, you know, whether it comes out here or it comes out here, what's the difference? You can probably either utilize the stock hole in the floor, drill a new hole, elongate the hole, just put a bigger grommet in. I'm sure you can get crafty and make it work. I wouldn't let that stop me at any rate. And again, the shifter is going to be here. So whether it comes out, you know, there or an inch lower, what's the difference? The cable's still going to come out and do a loop or go down or something. So I wouldn't sweat that too much. So getting back to measurements, the back side of the 4-speed dual gate is, I call it 3 3/8. On the OEM one, it's just shy of 3 3/8. And I'm willing to bet this 80s one is going to be the same. This one is 3, it's 3 5/16. Oop. Big deal. And measuring the tail end of it, this plate is 2 5/16 wide. This plate is 2 5/16 wide. This plate, how much you want to bet? You want to bet it's 2 5/16 wide? Oh, look at that. It's 2 5/16 wide. How about that? One other measurement we should take. This looks much shorter to me, front to back. So this plateau right here is 7 call it 7 1/4 long. This one looks longer to my eye. Oh yeah, this is 9 inches long. And this one is also 9 inches long. So, you can either, what can you do? Well, let's try something else. Let's see what the difference is. I gotta drop the phone for a second. You know, I'm looking at this. If I was putting it in my car, what would I be concerned about? Now that we know that it's about 2 inches shorter, where do we lose the 2 inches? Is it somewhere it's not consequential, or is it somewhere really important? If I was to, stop working on a trash barrel, sorry. All right, kind of line them up so that the front wall is equal, okay? So again, it's gonna sit like that too. So the front wall is equal. Now you can see that when we lose the distance, the length rather, it's in the, well, it's front and rear, because it overhangs in the front and it overhangs in the rear. So I'm gonna say this box, I'll call it, from here to here, you know, the internal box, I'm calling it, this thing here, it's 7, it's like 7 1/4 inch front to rear. I bet this is the same. Yes, it is. It's 7 1/4 inch. So this part here to here is the same. Both these shifters, that one's gonna be the same too. I'm sure it is. So what you gotta do is add a little bit in the front and a little bit in the back. Now I don't know if you can buy this plate pre-production. You probably can't, but you could make one if you were crafty. It's only, I don't think it's 1/8 inch. It's probably 14 gauge, something like that. 12 gauge, 11 gauge. It's somewhere probably, I mean, I can mic it for you if you want, but it's probably 110 thousandths, 100 thousandths, whatever. You can make one. Any sheet metal shop can make one for you. It does have the guide spring right there, or whatever you want to call that, but that's just the pouch it fits into right there. So that's not, you have to worry about welding it or taking in. The one you have to worry about is this one. That's where you got the little spring. I don't know if you want to screw with that. So there's two ways of going. You could find a beat to crap rusty old dual gate on eBay. You could buy and just take this plate off of and transfer it to this one, because the rivet holes appear to be in the exact same spot. That way your console will fall right down on it and your trim plate will bolt right to it. Or you can take some sheet metal. I don't know if you're a welder or if you know anybody who is. You could get some steel and just add on the front. You know, the back one drops down. So copy that, drop down and add on the back. Two ways of doing it. Either way will work, because it's just for the trim panel for the shifter. Without it, it's not going to screw down to the console. So the shifter will physically fit in the console. You got to worry about this trim panel on top. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will go get it. This one is a skanky looking one that came in that shifter I bought from eBay, but it's this thing. This guy. You know, those 3 holes are what secures it. And in case somebody wants to see my wall of dual gates, I have them all screwed up to the wall, literally. Just, I pick them up on eBay when I, see them, and I stash them away. That's a 68 Hurst Dual gate. That's a 79 Hurst Dual gate. These are both GTO dual gates. That's a 69 fiber. It's lap shifter. You push to the right and it ratchets up one by one. I just grab them when I find them cheap and just, sit on them, because, I don't know, I kind of like them. And I can make cool videos like this with them too. So, there's all your measurements. Bottom line is, it will fit in the console. You're gonna cut this off, maybe cut this off. I'll probably cut that off, actually. Fabricate something with a top for the shifter plate. And that appears to be it. Any other questions, let me know. I'm not the doctor of dual gates. I'm just a guy who buys crap and plays with it in my basement and makes it fit in my car. So, hope that helps. And carry on, everybody. Thanks for watching.